ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
In short, Adiyan's question is whether in the particular line says Padinan Arul Kandir, it says Nammalvar's Arul is greater than Bhagavan's Arul, since Nammalvar uplifts the jIvAthma that are given up by Bhagavan himself. So Adiyan wanted to understand, has Bhagavan actually given up on jIvAthmas? Is there any... Adiyan was not able to understand that context, so I just wanted to hear that, Swami.
Okay, so the concept is Bhagavan's mercy is always there. Still, Alvar is glorified here, saying that his mercy is much greater than Bhagavan's mercy. And the reason cited here is Bhagavan gives up trying to protect Atmas, trying to deliver Atmas. And Alvar at that time takes up that particular responsibility and does it. There are other places where such concept is explained as well. For example, in Ramanuja Nutrandadi, we see மண்மிசை யோனிகள் தோறும் எங்கள் மாதவனே கண்ணுடன் இருக்கிலும் காணகில்லா உலகோர்கள் அண்ணலி ராமானுசன் வந்து தோன்றிய அப்பொழுதே நன்னரு ஞானம் தலை கொண்டு நாரணர்க்கு ஆயினரே. Similar concept there also, when Bhagavan himself stood being unable to deliver Atmas, being unable to help the Atmas, Bhagavad Ramanuja appeared and immediately many Atmas became totally surrendered to Narayana and eventually were liberated. So there Bhagavad Ramanuja's greatness is emphasized. The reason for such glorification towards Alvars, AchAryas are to be understood in the proper perspective. Bhagavan is Swatantra, so he keeps trying to deliver Atmas, and it is actually his own idea and a technique, for example, where he is delivering the Atmas through his great devotees like Alvars, AchAryas. It is Bhagavan himself planning those activities, those efforts. It is not that Alvar is an independent person or Bhagavad Ramanuja or any Acharya is an independent person who is independently going and delivering Atmas to Bhagavan, liberating Atmas to reach Paramapadam. So it is Bhagavan's effort only, where he helps Atmas through Alvars and Acharyas to reach him. Now the aspect here is Bhagavan being Swatantra, he works in certain ways. He is always going to be the deciding authority. He will at times have his mercy on the rise. At times he will have his anger on the rise. Depending on what his mood is, the result could be favorable or unfavorable for the one who comes towards Bhagavan. Although in many places we do hear and see that Bhagavan is constantly trying to help Atmas and constantly trying to guide Atmas and so on. Still, the world works based on Shastram. And Bhagavan has to abide by Shastram. And Bhagavan also has to abide by the karma of the Atmas. Just as we are controlled by our karma, Bhagavan is also controlled by our karma. Just like we cannot get more than what we don't deserve, Bhagavan also cannot grant us what we don't deserve because he is following the rule book. Although he keeps certain exceptions where he is looking forward for Atmas to come and surrender unto him, to take total shelter of him, that doesn't happen very easily. It takes many efforts by Bhagavan, where he keeps trying in thousands of births of an Atma to develop such total surrender. He keeps trying that. So when an Atma, even after such efforts by Bhagavan, not doing full surrender, when the Atma is only doing some bhakti, some acquiring some knowledge, trying to do something on his own, then Bhagavan will show his angry face at times when such Atmas do mistakes. So this is all part of Bhagavan's nature. He has merciful face, he also has an angry face. That is why approaching Bhagavan directly is always feared. And that is why Bhagavan has his representatives, his devotees, who are going to show his, present his mercy to all the people who are curious, all the people who are interested, even showing slightest of the interest. And AzhwArs and AchAryas, they do upadeshams, they live by the upadeshams and demonstrate how we have to totally depend on Bhagavan. And also because they are always paratantra, they are always subservient to Bhagavan, they don't have any swatantriyam. So they will not easily punish anyone who is taking up to this path of Sharanagati, taking up to Bhagavan. So they will not punish, they will rather caringly and lovingly, like a father or a mother, will guide the person who are depending on them. So if someone took shelter of Bhagavad Ramanuja, ensured that that person would be reformed fully by doing the apt acts, whether it is good advice, whether it is sometimes very loving actions, sometimes being strict, depending on the situation. He would do certain things to ensure that the disciple is properly taken care of. So this is the role of AzhwArs and AchAryas, which are, this role is assigned by Bhagavan himself. So Bhagavan himself makes them more loving, makes them more accommodative, makes them more caring. And because they are framed in this particular mood, in this particular attitude, they are naturally very compassionate and they don't have the angry face. generally. They only have the merciful face. And this is what is glorified by our AchAryas in their works, whether it is Madhurakavi Alvar glorifying Nammalvar, or whether it is Amudanar glorifying Bhagavad Ramanuja, or any other Acharya. Subsequently, many Acharyas glorify Manaval Mamnigal in their works. Many Acharyas glorify Nambillai, Periyavachan Pillai, and so many other Acharyas and Alvars are glorified in this manner because of their nature. And that nature was developed by Bhagavan himself. Bhagavan himself made them to be like that. He wanted to keep the role, what they will say as good cop, bad cop. He wanted to keep both hats for himself. And he is so magnanimous that he gives that good cop role to Alvars and Acharyas. That is his magnanimity. So in our Sampradayam, if we see one subtle point, wherever Alvars, Acharyas may be glorified, but in the end, the real glory will be for Bhagavan, because he is the one who made them to be so glorious, so magnanimous. So all glories, all praises, anything to celebrate, all of that will belong to Bhagavan only, because that is the underlying philosophy. Everything greatness, every aspect which is showing some greatness in some entity, whether it is Alvars, Acharyas, Rishis, all of those belong to Bhagavan only, because he is the one who is remaining as Antaryami, who is remaining as the one who controls everything. So all good things belong to him. That is how we have to see this.
ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம்.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.